Hi, we found new music. My name is Kitsch. I want to thank everybody who made this happen. Thank you for having me. Thank the beautiful people behind me. And thank you, Seahorse Sound Studios, for letting us record. You're about to hear Wasted on the Moon. Well, I woke up with another guy I never knew. Oops. I left the television on in my boyfriend's room. And then I told you that I loved you on the phone. I love you. I got drunk and made a name up for the unknown. It's too bad I only feel this way when I'm stoned. It's too bad I told you that I left to your telephone. Ha! Where were you when all my friends got naked on the roof? Said I do. We're in a dress to a lesser version of you. Fell through. You read my freckles like the news, and it always fell through while you were getting wasted on the moon. My silver wrists blew away above .2, and my fingers shook all through the afternoon. And I took a trip like a cherry in my whiskey for and I got on stage and sang about the moon. Oh, baby, my sad eyes flew all around the room, 'cause my child mind was waiting on you to walk through. Where were you when all my friends got naked on the roof? Said I do. We're in a dress to a lesser version of you. Fell through. And you read my freckles, you already knew that it all fell through while you were getting wasted on the moon. Oh, oh, ooh, ooh. Where were you when all my friends got naked? I said I do. We're in a white dress to a lesser version of you, and I fell through. But you read my freckles, you always do, and it all fell through. How it all fell through. Where were you when all my friends got naked? I said I do. We're in a dress to a lesser version of you, and it fell through. You read my freckles, you already knew that it all fell through while you were getting wasted on the moon. Oh, oh, ooh, ooh.
I am your host, Grant Owens on We Found New Music, and we are so beyond thrilled to finally be joined by Kitsch on We Found New Music. Welcome to the show. You are.
For having me.
We've been playing you for like 6 weeks straight on the radio, with your track "Emotional Coma," and you played a throwback for us live right before this with the full band. Tell me about this track that you just played for us on We Found New Music live.
We just played Wasted on the Moon. That was actually my first time with a full band, so I can't say thanks enough. 1, for streaming Emotional Coma, and 2, for letting us play Wasted on the Moon. I chose that song to play for you specifically because if you remember, 3 or 4 years ago at ASCAP, the convention, I played that song for you really, really raw. And it just felt full circle to play it in its new form and like all the growth that it's gone through and all the growth that I've gone through to get to here where we are now.
Yeah. And it sounds fresh with the live band, and obviously it's come a very long way. So thank you so much for playing it for us. And yes, I do remember us meeting back when we could meet in person and have, little first meet greets. It's fate though, that I would come full circle and find your music when it's been more discovered and kind of it's making its way. You've hit some playlists. You're starting to get some good success, and you've got a full band. So after COVID, I can't wait to see what you do with your music. So let's begin with, how would you describe your music?
I told my managers and I told my producer that I wanted my music to sound like the inside of my closet looked, which is like everything from dirty ripped jeans to like floral pink tops. And it's kind of like collision of like the grittiness of me, but also the girliness. And I wanted it to sound like that. Like it could appeal to both sides of that spectrum, and not to fit like any sort of, not feminine, not masculine, but just to be like this hyperbole of makeshift and like unlikely combinations.
Yeah. It feels like just like you're having fun too. Tell me where the name Halo Kitsch came from.
Okay, Halo Kitsch, it's a long story. I'm going to shorten it for you. But it's a derivative of 3 idols of mine, 3 inspirations, 3 influences. I kind of mashed up all their names together. And then along with like the gritty and the girly that I described my music to be, I thought Halo is really airy and sweet. And then Kitsch was kind of like the punch. So I kind of wanted it all to, my closet, my music, and my name to all kind of fit that like dynamic.
And speaking of the dynamic of your sound, tell me some of your influences. What did you listen to growing up? What are you listening to now? It's interesting. It's an interesting blend that you have going.
Yeah, that's okay. Growing up, my first CD was Lenny Kravitz. And I would bring his CD with me on sleepovers as if it was like a stuffed animal. And then I had the Dixie Chicks CD, and I had, well, sorry, they go by the Chicks now. And I had Sheryl Crow. I definitely think that I adopted like her way of storytelling, or I tried to make it my own, of course. But I loved her lyrics, and then I loved the sound that Lenny has with the guitar and like that sweet rock and roll spot. And like now I'm listening to definitely like newer artists that still incorporate like the raw authenticity of like a real instrument. Mm-hmm. That's my favorite. I actually just made a playlist of a bunch of artists that are probably like under 500,000 streams each. And I've called it like the Up and Coming Club. I put FJ Law on there after this weekend. Tessa Ray is on there, Annie DeRusso, Chloe Caroline, Cowboy Mugshot, like a bunch of artists that aren't in the top 40 but will be, and I'm counting on it.
Those are a bunch of artists I haven't heard of. You are the tastemaker, Miss Halo Kitsch, and you have some musical friends that you like to give love to also. You sent me an artist that hasn't even released anything yet that we look forward to keeping our eye on at We Found New Music.
Yeah.
Everybody's a tastemaker these days, but also, there's just so much out there.
I'm so lucky to be surrounded by such like a beautiful community. And I found that definitely on 96.7 Nashville as well. Like they introduced me to Chelsea, and Chelsea's music is amazing, and Solex and her music is amazing. And then I connected with FJ Law after listening to your 88.5 this weekend. It's so cool like to be with people who are my like mind and just getting started. And it's just I'm so lucky.
And we are very proud to be the first LA station. Aren't you excited, Mr. Dog? Aren't you excited for the LA play?
He was in the car. He was in the car when you played Emotional Coma. He's stoked.
He's so stoked. He as long as you're happy, he feels the love, and that's a good thing, Mr. Dog, Mr. Kitsch. So you're just having a blast. You're making music videos. You've actually put more stuff out than I've heard, and it's good to see that it's coming full circle. You're making on some playlists and stuff. How did you get into music originally, and how did you get to where you are now? Catch us up.
Yeah, such a trip. I think it's been over a decade. I mean, I first like sat down to a piano when it was still plastic and like making little squeaky noises. I was like 2. And I was playing it my whole life. I did lessons and then I didn't do lessons. And then it started off in bedrooms. And when I got really serious about it was probably the summer after my first year of college is when I finished Flawless. And that was the first song of Substance that I just like capped and was like, this is done. And then I started working like to save up money to get into a real studio session, and was working like 3 jobs. And finally I found Ben. And there were a few producers before Ben that I owe a lot of credit to as well. But when I found Ben, it was like, ooh, we're about to hit something. And it had been such a long time coming, and I had to be so patient. And there are multiple times when I gave up. Like ASCAP always was really intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I moved to Hollywood and I was surrounded by people, like I met Tessa Ray and her producer Hero Delano, and like I was working at The Nice Guy and like serving a bunch of really cool artists, and I was like, I got just one more chance, and that was when I found Ben, and it was just felt like life changing.
And Ben is your producer or writer, co-writer?
Yeah, Ben Zellico is my producer. He's done all of the songs so far, and we're starting to branch out, but he's still my go-to.
Amazing. Well, it's really great to find your go-to. You know how Billy has found her Phineas. Oh wait, that's her brother. But you know, I mean,
her built in a little.
not all of us get extremely talented brothers in our upbringing, but that's really exciting. And what's next? I mean, thank you for performing for us. We're playing some of your singles on the air. What should we play next on the air?
Oh, no pressure. What'd you say?
That was a loaded question.
Yeah, that's a loaded question. Next, I mean, I just got together with this whole band, and it was the craziest feeling ever. It was such a high, and I can't wait to do that for a crowd instead of for a camera. So I'm hoping that as things slowly start to open up, like I'm gonna get to do more live shows, because I'm a COVID baby. Like I haven't gotten to do any of that usual stuff. And I mean, as far as music goes, I've kind of backed off from the monthly release thing, because I'm such a perfectionist and I really want to come up with a batch that could be like a whole EP before I put something out again. So it'll probably be like another couple months before I put out my next single, but that will be followed definitely by Boom, 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 Boom as we pick back up the momentum. And until then, I'm just excited to be with the band and to be rehearsing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hopefully we can be one of your first live shows. That I know that you and I have talked about that. You know, there's whispers. We're hopefully going to come back and bring this freaking weekly. You know, it's like, if we found new music and bring it back, then everybody else will too. So
you're a pioneer.
Yeah, well, let's be pioneers together. Let's have you perform. So let's have our fingers crossed that live shows are on the horizon, and we just show our vaccine cards and get in.
Yeah. Vaccinated.
That was special that you used to come to our weekly shows. Thank you for doing that, and we've come full circle. Now you are the star. You're the one. Let's go into Emotional Coma now on We Found New Music. Thank you so much. What do you have to say to your fans?
Thank you, Grant, for having me. So special. And if there's a fan out there, hi. You're about to hear Emotional Coma
On We Found New Music.